Alright guys, what is up? This is the Killer Nacho again, and I have another exciting battle, this time against the ThePikaWu. And once again, this was my Sun team that I am once again trying just to improve. So he leads with this I don't even know, it's like Archeops or something. It's a pretty okay Pokemon, but I have to switch because I am afraid of that Head Smash or an Earthquake. And he does have the Head Smash. He uses his little head gem, and look how much that does to Bronzong. A resisted attack. That was huge. And, wow, I am completely shocked that Bronzong took that much. Anyway, I really want to set up my rocks. I hope that he doesn't kill me, and he does not, although U-Turn still does a little too much for comfort. That is one powerful Pokemon, and I'm surprised not used more often. Anyway, so now I set up my Stealth Rocks. He goes out into his Blastoise, which I know probably has Rapid Spin, and I just don't want to see this thing, like, Rapid Spin my Stealth Rocks away, so I'm just going to go for a Hypnosis, hoping that maybe he'd go Rapid Spin this turn, but he just kills me, and that's pretty bad, because now if he wants to, like, Rapid Spin, there's nothing I can do to stop him. So now I go out into Flower Dino. I try to put him to sleep, and then I fail, and he goes for the Ice Beam, and that's like, oh god, that's so bad. So, yeah, I decided to, you know what, I'm going to try sleeping him again. I mean, I really don't want this thing to, like, Rapid Spin, so I sleep him again, and, he ends up having the Lumberry, so that first sleep really hurt me, and at this point, I make probably a misplay. I'm like, okay, why am I even trying to put this thing to sleep? The reason I went for the Sleep Powder to begin with was because I thought he'd switch, kind of, so I just go for the Solar Beam now, thinking, you know what, even with my, the fact that this is a bulky Venusaur, I bet I can probably still kill this thing with Solar Beam, except I don't. And that was pretty much a misplay. I either should have kept going for the Sleep Powder or should have went for the Solar Beam right off the bat. And that ends up being pretty terrible, because now I lose my Venusaur to a Blastoise, and that's just awful. And that, like, Sleep Mist didn't help. Anyway, so now I just go out into Royal Pain, because I just want to get rid of this thing, or make it scared away, so I can just keep my Stealth Rocks and stuff. I go for the Flamethrower in the Sun, which is pretty powerful. He goes down to Miltank, which is a tank, but I end up getting a crit, which I guess kind of makes up for the missed sleep, but not so much, because I really want Venusaur, and I don't even care about this Miltank too much. I'm just going to finish it off with Earth Power now, so at least that takes that out, and I'm not looking completely terrible right now, although I still have 2 Pokemon down to his, 1. Anyway, he goes on to Celebi now, and I'm like, okay, this is a fire team, so I should have something to do with Celebi, except I do not, because this is a pretty slow fire team. He ends up going for Psychic, and I end up going out into Ninetales, which at least it's a check, because now he has to switch. He can't really stay in against Ninetales, obviously, so he's going to switch out, and he goes out back into this Archeops thing, and I'm just going to go for the I go for the Sub, which is a good play for me, because now I can just do whatever I want to this guy, and I'm going to go for a Will-O-Wisp, which is a pretty nice move, because he's going to Earthquake, and, yeah, I went for the Sub because I didn't really know what he'd do, but I kind of figured he'd switch, but I wouldn't know what he'd switch into. So that was a pretty nice play, because now I know he switches in this guy. I get a burn off on it, and he's a lot less scary with a burn, obviously, because this thing has, like, a lot of attack, and now it does not. So I'm going to switch out now, because I don't want to take an Earthquake, even with this thing being burned. So now I go out into Rhyperior, because I have, like, the solid rock, and I'm like, I bet I can take one okay. He ends up going for the U-turn, getting a useless crit, and now he goes out into Blastoise again. And I'm like, crap, but then I say, oh, okay, that's not so bad, because he just dies to his little Stealth Rocks, which is a pretty awesome thing for me. I guess he said that he did not quite calculate. He was like 1 HP short, and that stinks. Anyway, so he goes on to Celebi now, and I was hoping he'd overpredict, but he made a great play and just went for the Giga Drain, which is awful for me, great for him. I was hoping he'd overpredict, and I could, Mega Horn, but it does not turn out that way, and now I'm in a pretty bad position. So he goes out in this Dunkfish, which is like a ground electric Pokemon that's pretty okay. I go for the Flamethrower. It doesn't do a whole lot. I guess this thing's pretty bulky, and now I'm just going to go for the Will-O-Wisp, because I really don't know what these things usually do, and apparently they're usually special, so that was a dumb play for me, and I die, and I even missed with the Will-O-Wisp, which kind of sucks, because at least that would have been damage. Yeah, and Venusaur dies, and that sucks. So I'm going to go into Royal Pain now, hoping my Royal Pain can KO this guy. I end up going for the Ice Beam, I think, because looking at his team, Ice Beam is like the best move, not to mention that that thing is weak to Ice, so I go for the Ice Beam. He ends up going into Archeops just to basically sacrifice it, and now he's going to go out into Celebi, and I'm like, crap, I'm like I can't take a Psychic. I especially can't take an Earth Power. Actually, he doesn't even have Earth Power, which is like, thank God for me. Yeah, I go on to Arcanine, which is actually slower than Celebi, but I was hoping that, maybe this wasn't full speed Celebi, or maybe he would get scared and switch out. And he does actually get scared and switch out, so that's a pretty nice thing for me. He goes back into this Dunkfish thing. I lock myself in a Flare Blitz, which is a whole lot in the sun, enough to kill this thing, obviously. Unfortunately, he gets the Static, which completely ruins me, because now, even if I was Scarfed or something, Celebi will still kill me. Even though that the static boost means I couldn't have won even if I was Scarfed, I do realize I do need some extra speed in this team. So after this battle, I decided to make Flash, which is a Flash Fire Arcanine. Get it? Flash Fire, and he's also faster. I decided to make him Scarf. After this battle. Right now he's banded, but a Scarf will let me outspeed certain threats, because there's really no reason for a Sun team to get swept by a freaking Celebi. But that was a good game. Obviously, I still have some work to do on this team, so stay tuned for part 3 of this little sub-series. ThePikaWu is a great battler. Make sure you check him out. Thanks for the match. It was actually pretty close. A little bit of hacks on both sides, but what can you do? It's Pokemon's. Today's question of the day is going to be, what is your favorite choice item in Gen 5? I know I asked this question in Gen 4, but I'm going to reuse some of these questions of the day just because they kind of change in Gen 5 a little bit. I mean, originally I do like the idea of Choice Band Arcanine. It's just really powerful, especially in the sun. But then I'm thinking, you know what, Choice Scarf is probably better for Arcanine, just because I need that extra speed in the sun in this team, because once Venusaur dies, I am completely out of speed. Not to mention, Flare Blitz is already going to be really powerful in the sun, so if I just make it an Adamant Scarf Arcanine, I should be okay, and we'll see how that works next video. As for my favorite choice item, it'll probably have to be Choice Scarf, because I really think that Choice Scarf is the best of them. I mean, Choice Band and Choice Specs are really nice for faster Pokemon that just need the extra damage, but Choice Scarf, I mean, basically, I have a sub-rule, like, I very rarely bring a team without a Scarfer, because you just need that speed in some situations. Sometimes you'll run into something with priority or something really fast, and you just need that speed to basically threaten it, to force a switch, or even to outspeed and kill. So I think a Scarfer is, pretty important for every team, so that's what I'm going to answer. Alright, peace out, homies.